this next problem here, we want to first of all estimate by rounding then divide and round to the nearest hundredth. And we have 7.943 divided by 0.063. So if we took 7.9, we could say, all right, we could round that to 8. And 0.0163, we could say, all right, that's close. We could say, all right, that's closest to 0.1. So if we were to say 8 divided by 0.1, we would have to move that decimal point, right, one place. So that'd be like saying 80 divided by 1. Well, it's not going to get you the exact answer, but it's going to get you fairly close. So if we looked at, here we have 7.943 over 0.063. We have to move that decimal point how many places? 3, right? So that means for the numerator we have to move that how many places? 3. So we're looking at 7943 divided by what? 63. Okay, so let's look at this again. All right, we did an estimation. And this is a pretty rough estimate because we're rounding, you know, maybe we could have used 7.9 instead of 8, because you're going to find the answer is going to be more like in the hundreds when we finish. But it gets us fairly close to what we're going to end up with. Alright, so now we take our quotient, what we have for our division problem, and we put it in rational form so that we can place our, we want to look at, alright, doing this is going to help us to determine what's our divisor, what's our dividend. In other words, what's going to go outside of our long division and what's going to go inside. Okay, if anything else, because in decimals, the smaller number may actually be on the inside. So you have to look at, you know, the numerator always goes inside, the denominator always goes as our divisor. So in decimals, the larger number is not always what's inside. So you have to be careful with that. Alright, so we move our decimal point over depending on what our divisor is. Okay, you always have to go from the divisor, move that over to the end, to our, behind our units place. So in order to do that, we have to move that 3 places. So that means whatever we moved for our divisor 3 places, we have to move our numerator, our dividend over 3 places. So we have to go 1, 2, 3 places. Okay, so that makes it 79.43 over 63.
I have a question. Like, this would,
Yeah.
like in the textbook, this would be like a A/B problem. Like, you do the estimate and then do the.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we have 63, and we have 7943. Put a decimal point. Okay, really important that we do that. Okay, so now 60 divides into 700, or let's say 6. If 6 divides into 79, that would be at least, well, we know at least it's going to be, right, 10, yeah, it'd be at least 10, right? Or, so we're going to put a 1 here. So, therefore, 1 times 3 is 3, right? So we know that 63 divides into 79 1 time. So that would be 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 6. And so now 9 minus 3 is 6, 7 minus 6 is 1. So now 63 doesn't divide into 16, so we've got to bring the 4 down, right? Okay, so now we have estimate 6 divides into 16 at least twice, right? So therefore, that might be a good estimate for 63 dividing into 164. So we'll put a 2 here. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. And we have to borrow. So we get 14 minus 6 is 8. 5 minus 2 is 3. Well, 63 doesn't divide into, subtract into 30, it doesn't divide into 38, so we've got to bring the 3 down. So we can estimate what here? 6 divided by 38, right? So which would be 6. That might work. It might be too high, but let's take a look. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 1 is 37. Okay, so that'll work. So we've got to borrow, right? Make that a 7. 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. And that's all.
So you stop it right there. That's going to be like your remainder.
Well, remember now, we're working with decimals, and we got to round to the nearest hundred.
Oh, okay.
So we still have to go tens, hundreds, and then 1 more. Okay? So we have to keep going. So now what?
Add a 0.
Add a 0, right? Bring the 0 down. But can 63 divide into 50?
No.
No. So what do we do?
0.
0 divides into 63 50 times, right? So we have to, now what?
Add another 0.
Add another 0. So bring another 0 down. So now we can estimate